Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game, and today a re-review of Wave Zero's USS Enterprise No Bloody A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and X. Yeah, any of those good things. Um, this is Kirk's Enterprise original series, and it lives up to it. It's a 3143 four crew quad crew. I don't believe any other ship has quad crew. Maybe Deep Space Nine. Even then, I don't think so. Uh, Pretty maneuverable ship, 180 forward firing arc. Kind of like, what more do you really want in a ship? This is a great, just space frame. Then you add on the action bar, standard Fed action bar, but it's a great action bar. And to top it off, you throw in a really good named ability here. The USS Enterprise can perform an action listed on its action bar while it has an auxiliary power token. So you can do your two reverse, you can do your three turns, and you still get an action bar action. You don't even have to clear it. You can just keep going. You build your ship, you build the Enterprise off of only action bar actions. You don't try to do anything fancy with it. You don't have a bunch of crew actions, captain actions, talent actions, passive abilities. Passive named abilities are the key to this ship, and anything that gets a bonus from battle station token, target lock, scan, evade, anything like that's where you're going to have a good day. The generic, 16 points. Now, it does lose 2 crew slots. We're down at double crew weapon. Loses a shield. Now, 16 points, and you go, wait a second. Okay. Is the tiny prize a little bit overpriced? Yeah, it is. And I know I'm harping on that through my re-reviews here. It's a little overpriced. Could it use a tiny bit of a discount? Of course. Of course it could use a tiny bit of one. But does it need a massive discount? No, not at all. But the generic, viable space frame. Constitution class, not going to win the day. But it's a nice little ship. Really, that's all I got to say. It's a nice, tough ship. Now, James T. Kirk is a 9 skill captain. You pay 6 points, and you get 2 talent slots. And 2 talent slots, very flexible. But even better than that, any Federation talents that you purchase for Kirk cost exactly 3 points and are placed face down. Right? Sneaky, get to bring things in. I like the discount here. This is thematic to Kirk. Kirk is not amazing, right? There are better captain abilities. Picard sees more play than Kirk. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not saying Picard's better captain than Kirk. I'm just saying in attack wing, Picard gets more play. Kirk has his moments. And now that we have cheaper talents, I think Picard and other captains are definitely seeing more play. But Kirk still has utility. Kirk, especially in the era, the TOS era, is one of the most fantastic captains you could ever hope to have. You're paying a premium for him. And to fully upgrade him, 12 points. Because you are going to make use of the 2 talent slots. But you're going to hide stuff. And it works quite well. Kirk is a cool captain. I like him. Definitely worth hunting down. Christopher Pike, all of your crew upgrades cost 1 less point. Now, Pike's only real utility is on the Enterprise, because then you get 4 crew slots, and so you're going to pay 4 less points, making Pike basically free. But then, do you have 4 great crew to put on the Enterprise? I struggle with that. Pike, at the time Pike was designed, we saw Pike in, 3 episodes. The Cage, and then the Menagerie Part 1 and 2. Now that we have Strange New Worlds, with 1 season of Pike, plus 1 season of Discovery, plus Strange New Worlds Season 2 coming out very soon, better versions of Pike should exist. Will they exist for attack wing? Who knows? I hope so. I really, truly hope so. But this feels like early design cop out. It's not that it's a bad ability. Um, it's that we see evolution of the design later. So is Pike worth the chase down? No, probably not. In fact, I think if he were done today, and you wanted to keep the exact same ability, he would still be he would go down to be a 3-cost captain, just with the skill. But yeah, that's me. Cheat Death. Cheat Death is a 5-point talent. It is not unique, and I feel like that would get redesigned today. If your ship was just destroyed, discard this card to remove damage cards one at a time from your ship card until the amount of damage is 1 point less than your whole value. Flip all remaining damage cards face down so you don't have any crits. This has been the centerpiece of many a build for shenanigans that I've run. See the self-destruct suicidal Reliant, or basically any ship, but the Reliant's just kind of fun and pseudo-thematic for it. But you run Cheat Death, I stab at the Tasha Yar, and basically as soon as your ship blows up, well, you don't actually blow up, and you get to inflict a ton of dice to your opponent because you blew up. Your ship was just destroyed. And yeah, it's a fun trigger that we don't see played out a lot, probably for good reason. You don't actually want your ships to die in the game. This card is a good card, a useful card. It's a little bit of a crutch, but it's one that has good utility in attack wing. I'm glad it exists. I do wish it were maybe limited to 1 per ship or completely unique. But aside from that, I think it is worth trying to find. Cochrane Deceleration Maneuver, on the other hand. Action: if you just performed a 1 straight maneuver this round, discard this upgrade to come about, place an Ox Power token beside your ship. Cool ability. Very cool ability. Just not 5-point cool. A come about on a fed ship, especially, is very rare. And I don't even hate much about it. This card in mission play, I think, sees the play. But here's the rub on it. Admiral Q. Admiral Q does this for 1 point, and you do the exact same thing, right? You do a 1 straight. You can come about on a 1. You take 1 Ox Power token. Still the action. Costs you 1 point. This card's cool. Like I said, cool effect. But Admiral Q isn't limited to a 1 straight, and I guess takes up a more valuable slot in Admiral rather than talent, but yeah. Corbomite Maneuver. Action: discard this upgrade to prevent all enemy ships from attacking you this round, and you cannot attack this round. Yeah, I struggle with the effect. In mission play, it's cool, especially if you're the single ship. That I will take. I'll buy that. In terms of like a 3-on-3 battle, you're actually kind of hurting yourself because other ships are just going to target somebody else, and then you don't get to make an attack. So really, you're turning it from like a 3-on-3 to a 3-on-2 battle, and you're helping them focus fire. Unless you're really going to be the only ship seeing targets, then there's some play for it. Corbomite Maneuver has its use, but worth 5 points? No, not at all. Again, interesting design, interesting ability, just poorly priced. These photon torpedoes, granted, they represent 200 or so years before, and they're 3 points, give you 4 dice. You spin your target lock, disable the card to perform the attack. You convert a battle station into a crit, and you get forward or rear arc. The Constitution just has the forward, doesn't have a rear, but like an Excelsior class, which would come out, does have 180 plus a forward or a rear 90. So decent coverage there. And at 3 points, you're not breaking the bank. Uh, Again, better photons exist, but these were not hideous at the time. Um, Not ones I ever really wanted to run, but again, not hideous. Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock saw a lot of play in the first year or two of the game. If your ship has a scan token beside it when you attack, you may convert all your battle station results into hit results. So that lets you scan and have the effect of a battle station, plus your opponent's rolling one less defense die, which means your dice do more. And that's really cool. For 5 points, it's expensive. It's an expensive ability, but your attacks are basically hitting just about everything. And if you can find another way to get, say, target lock, then you're re-rolling your blanks and going to hit with almost all of your dice. So Spock definitely worth the chase down. Good character, good crew member there. Montgomery Scott, on the other hand, action: disable 2 of your shields in order to gain 2 attack dice this round, or repair 1 shield and reduce your total attack dice by 2 this round. I like or effect cards, but this just I struggle with the trade-off here. As a passive ability, he would have been great. Being able to decide what you are going to do, say, at the start of combat phase, that would have been cool. But yeah, for 5 points, I guess I just want to see a little bit more reward. You have to be very picky about the timing of Scotty, and with that, with the 5 point card, I don't want to have to be picky about my timing. Maybe in mission play, I'm willing to go this route, but overall, non-mission play, I don't want to go there. Leonard McCoy, you can discard McCoy to allow one of your crew upgrades to perform its action as a free action this round. So McCoy is definitely a combo enabler, and again, you got to pick your moment. I think he has potential. I think he still has potential to this day. I don't have a build off the top of my head for him, but I think there's times where you want 2 of your crew to be able to work, and having that one round where McCoy can enable your combo. Maybe it's the first round of combat, and that extra kick is going to be everything that you need in order to get first strike advantage, or to be able to kill a ship, or be able to inflict the right kind of critical damage to a ship. That is worth it. Leonard McCoy's not amazing, but I still think he's a viable piece, and there's not much I'd change about him. Sulu also saw a lot of play in the early days of the game. Not so much these days, but being able to add 2 to your agility for the rest of the round, and each time you defend this round, you may convert 1 battle station result into an evade result. So you're getting more defense dice plus a conversion for an action and 3 points. This is really good trade-off. And if you gave me this ability in Klingon form or Romulan form, I would call this one of the best crew, period, even to this day. It's simply the fact that this is a Federation ship, and Federation ships tend to want to put out the damage rather than sit there and fight and just kind of peck away at you and then try to absorb more damage. And so that's why Sulu doesn't see tons of play. Sulu still has a good place on like a Sutherland, a defensive enterprise D, a build that's being helped by the Odyssey, giving more defensive quality. Uh, there's place for him, and I think that that's still important to remember. Like, hey, these these cards do still exist, and they do have a place. But yeah, I like Sulu. I like this ability, and it's definitely a crew I look at least every once in a while. And the last crew is Nyota Uhura. And you get to discard Uhura immediately before you move in order to change your maneuver for this round. I feel like this is better when you play poorly with your maneuvers. Um, Now, I don't mean that to knock people, but this this card's definitely a crutch. This card is the I am not good at anticipating what my opponent might do, so I need something to react to because I'm dependent upon having actions, and if one thing goes bad, then everything in my build falls apart. Now, Ahura does counter some cards like Lure, uh, but there's lines, and there's just a skill level where I think you get better at the game the more you play, the more you predict what people should do, are likely to do in certain situations, and then Uhura doesn't become necessary. And that's. I think this card was great in Wave Zero, but I don't think she's great 10 years later. I think there's other versions of Uhura that are fantastic, but this is not that one. So, pack as a whole, cards to still go out and get. Sulu, for sure. McCoy, I think worth a look. Spock, worth a good look. Scotty, if you're into the missions. Cheat Death, for sure. Pike for thematic purposes. Kirk, again, for thematic purposes, missions. And the Enterprise, even though she's a touch more expensive, I do think she's worth a good look. Plus, it's the Enterprise. It's the ship that started it all. I think it's worth having an Enterprise. So, that's it for me. That is our re-review of the USS Enterprise. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.